Hi everyone, welcome to our first weekly review for HSAM 1800. Just wanted to talk a little bit about last week's class and then go over some of the quiz questions, the most frequently missed quiz questions. I think everyone in class has suffered through my weekly reviews before, but if not, I do this every week. We have these little ed puzzles every week and hopefully clear up any of the questions or issues that were found within the quiz during the week. So first I'm going to hop over to the actual classroom. So obviously, one of the things that I was hoping to get across throughout the class last week was kind of the role of marketing in the healthcare system. A lot of people think marketing, they automatically jump right to advertising and those ads we see on TV, at the billboards. And this area, if you're in class and you're from the Western PA area in particular, I find that healthcare advertising, is particularly prevalent here. It is everywhere now, but it's very prevalent here. I find it to be a little more hardcore here in Western PA than in some other areas that I've either lived in or have traveled to. I used to, prior to coming here, I was a consultant, so did a lot of travel. And I find that, and it comes, I think, a lot from the competitive situation here in town, a very competitive marketplace. So I'm sure that that's where a lot of the marketing comes from, just trying to, it's keeping up with the Joneses from a marketing perspective. But so it does provide at least for those of you that are here in town, provides a great case study for us to look at when we start looking at marketing. But everywhere has healthcare marketing, and all you need to do is watch television to get inundated with direct-to-consumer advertising. From that perspective. But marketing isn't just advertising. Marketing is so much more than that. One of my favorite areas of marketing is market research. I think it's fascinating to look at the marketplace, to look at, dig into that research. Research is one of my favorite areas anyway, but dig into the research to see what the consumer and what the customer are really looking for, and really do that market research aspect. But there's so many different areas. And so really what we were trying to get a feel for last week was, what is marketing? Why do we need marketing? All of those different aspects. So in our discussion, number one, thank you for your intros. Thank you for sharing information with us. And hopefully you like the Flipgrid. This is my second term using Flipgrid. I'm using it in 2 different classes this term, so I'm hoping it doesn't get too overwhelming. So I hope that you like it. The purpose of the Flipgrid is really to go from discussion boards, which can get mundane, and really just the opportunity to type to each other. It doesn't really build a community. And what I'm really trying to build is a community of leaders, where we're actually having a discussion. To replicate that discussion, we would be having in a live classroom. So I may ask a question, one person answers it, the next person answers them. Let's replicate that discussion in this Flipgrid. One question that I've had about the Flipgrid is, how do we reply to a reply? So let's say I put up, I'll make a real example. It doesn't make any sense not to. So let's say Ashley has puts up a post, her initial post, and then I respond to her and I say, that sounds really great, Ashley. Have you thought about this? And then Ashley wants to reply to me. Unfortunately, the system doesn't have it won't delve down, which I understand why it doesn't. It would get very complex. In order to make a reply, you have to go back out to that original post. So in my example, Ashley was the main post, I was the reply. You would have to go back out to Ashley's main post. If she wants to reply to me, she would just go back out to her main post, and she would click and she would say, hey, Dr. Harrington, yeah, that's a really great point. I was thinking about that, but you only gave me 1 minute and 30 seconds to talk, so I didn't get a chance to say anything about that. So that's a really good way to just you probably just want to address the person that you're talking about in your reply, because sometimes you can get 5, 6, 7 replies, and multiple people. If you're not sure, obviously a lot of you are probably just getting to know what everybody looks like. There's a name connected with every video, so just kind of hover over, it'll show you the person's name, even if they don't say who they are. We obviously don't need to announce who we all are in our videos. The other thing, I would encourage you not to read a script. I think I may have mentioned that at some point, maybe in one of the videos. It's good to have notes, but I really would encourage you not to just read a script. It takes away from that. If that's the only way you feel comfortable, then that's okay. But that makes it really just a lot like the discussion board. It's really just a read version of the discussion board. I would encourage you to have maybe some bullet points. Look at the bullet points and just talk to us, because I really want it. You wouldn't be reading a script in class. So try and look at this less as a presentation and more as, I asked you a question in class and you're answering me. So try and look at it that way. Don't be nervous about it, and look at it a little more in that way. If the only way you're comfortable doing it is reading the script, then do it that way. That's, I'm not going to take points off for that, but I would really encourage you to to try not to be so concerned about what actual every single word is coming out, and worry a little more about the overall kind of gist of what you're saying. Okay, so enough about the Flipgrid. I'm looking forward. I have not gotten through to the assignment yet. I'm just still working on getting through with everyone's questions and whatnot today. So I'll certainly get to that momentarily. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's assignments. If you haven't used Turnitin yet, Turnitin's unfortunately let me go back to the classroom for a second. Unfortunately, this box here. See, this is the Turnitin assignment, obviously, down here. I had to add this additional box to talk about the assignments, because this section here for a Turnitin assignment doesn't allow me to add any information other than narrative text. So you will see in many sections where you'll have 2 links like this for your assignment, written assignments, when it's a Turnitin assignment. Turnitin is a plagiarism checking software. We've unfortunately had some significant issues with plagiarism in our courses over the past year or so. So we're using that more intently now. But so in this case, I wanted to make sure this video was here for you to easily click on, and I couldn't embed the video there. So that's why I have to have 2 boxes. You'll see that in a few of these sections. So if you ever have a question on where to submit a video or where to submit an assignment, just let me know. I'm happy to help. Okay, so let's talk about the quiz questions. So the first quiz question was true or false. A customer is one who uses the product or service purchased. So the correct answer here was false. And this was a little confusing, but so the customer is actually the purchaser. So the customer is the person that outlays the money for the item. But that is not necessarily the person who uses it. So think about a situation where it could be maybe me and my son. So I am the guarantor of for his healthcare services, and he doesn't pay for anything. If any of you have children, you know that. So he doesn't pay for anything. But so I am the customer of the services being purchased. He is the consumer. He uses the services. So sometimes the customer and the consumer are the same person, but in other instances they are not. So the customer is the purchaser. They're the one that is outlaying the money. The consumer is the one that uses the service. So important kind of delineation between the two. So that's why our answer here was false. Customer is purchaser, consumer is user. Important difference between those two. which is not a skill of a marketing person. So the correct answer in our listing here was media control. There were a bunch of answers, but there are 7 skills that were listed in our textbook: market research, product design, distribution, pricing, advertising, sales promotion, and sales management. So those were all those that were listed in our textbook. Now, media control would not be one that is specific to marketing. You may have in public relations, you may have interaction with the media. It tends to be a public relations function, not so much on the marketing side. And so that's kind of why it's outside of the realm of marketing. But so of those 7, the other ones that were listed as correct answers were all in that list, whereas media control was not. Pricing is probably the one that was chosen most. I don't have all of the correct answers on here. Pricing looks like it was the one that was chosen the most frequently, but that was of the listing that was in our text. That was often that was also in the appropriate area. And one of the main reasons for that is that when we look at market research, you need to be pricing your product to what the market can bear. So hopefully, even in the healthcare sector, hopefully what we're doing some market research. We're not just pricing. Back in the day, that's what we did. We just priced our product. We didn't pay any attention to how much things cost or how much the market could bear. We just did it based on what things cost. Hopefully, sometimes we just price things based on whatever we wanted. But hopefully now, because of consumer-driven health plans, hopefully we are not only looking at cost when setting our pricing, but also what will the market bear? Doing some market research with regard to our pricing strategies. So it is part of the marketing realm. Next question. Romer's model adds the political dimension to Anderson's economic for understanding healthcare systems, and this was a true or false. Now, I'm not going to spend. I know I'm already talked quite a bit, and I've eaten up a lot of our video here already. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going in depth on Romer's and Anderson's models. But what this question did, this was a true false. The answer was false, and what this question did was actually flip-flop those 2 models. So Romer's model added the economic dimension to Anderson's already political model. So Anderson's model for understanding healthcare systems was already a political model, and Romer's took that and added an economic dimension to it. So this question actually kind of flip-flopped that political and economic, those terms flip-flopped us. So that's what made it false. I won't go into detail on those theories or those theorists in particular. It just has to do with affluence to lower socioeconomic status. That is the economic dimensions of Romer's model, and then Anderson's model is that political side. So it's interesting stuff, but we could spend another 20 minutes talking about theorists, so we won't do that today. The next one, I think it's the last one, is true or false. Again, sales promotion includes advertising. So again, those 7, the last question that we had there, the what is not a skill of a marketing person, was it that one? Yes. It was that question. Sorry, had to go back too far. That one listed out those 7 aspects of marketing. In that one, it listed in the textbook as it talked about those elements. It talked about sales promotion, talked about advertising. So when you think about advertising, it is what you think of: advertising, billboards, television, print ads, radio ads, internet, all of those types of things. That's advertising. So advertising is what you think of. Sales promotion is not they're not the same. So sales promotion could be discounts offered by salespeople. It could be when I think of sales promotion, I have to laugh, but I think of a mascot standing on the street promoting, promoting a specific thing. Maybe I'm trying to think of the name of it, Liberty Tax Service, that always has um, a mascot standing out around tax time, trying to get people to come in and get their taxes done, or specific sales promotions. They're not necessarily advertising, it's a sales promotion, like buy four football tickets, get this thing for free. So sales promotion and advertising, if you have a sales promotion, you might use advertising to get the word out, but they are definitely not one and the same. They are two different aspects of marketing. So important to keep those two separate. So that's all I have for today. I will say thoughts and prayers going out to if anybody in the class had any was impacted at all by the tragedy over the weekend. Certainly keeping all of our thoughts with the folks in the Squirrel Hill community. And so if there's anything, if you were impacted in any way, if there's anything we can do, please just let us know here. Okay? So have a good week. Any questions, please let us know. Okay? Thanks so much.